Hello. Let's see. We're going live. I'm live on Facebook. I got Zoom. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Happy Huddle, where we get together every Friday morning at 9 a.m. to 9:30, and we learn a new happiness tip or tool for about half an hour. We do it really, really quickly. We get in, we get out, and we learn it. And honestly, if you just keep adding these things together, your baseline for happiness builds. It is unbelievable how well it works. And if you want the previous ones, I have about 32 on YouTube, or Happier by the Minute. You can go and see all the previous ones. Today, what I promised you was Happier Marriage by the Minute. And so I invited my husband to come and join me, and so that we could talk about the tips and the tools of a really successful marriage. Well, what we know so far for 10 years. And he's not here. Okay, that is real life, because he went to take our son to preschool and he's stuck in traffic. So that is what live TV is. And I am not going to start any later than 9 o'clock. And so he's going to show up any second. Before he does, I can't wait to introduce you to him. By the way, we don't have this scripted at all, clearly, which is why he's running late. Anyway, I think I should just call this the imperfect Happy Huddle, because like something goes wrong every time. Actually, as I was setting it up, my little holder for my phone fell off the table and broke. And I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. What am I going to do next? And actually it worked out better, because I put it on I found a different way to hold it, and it's even better. Come on in. Look I've set this up. He just got back. Come here. We're live on TV, on Instagram and Facebook. Hi, love. Okay, hello. So you have to cheat a little bit. This is what TV is. You got to cheat a little bit. See, this is Barry, my husband, and we have been together for over 10 years. We'll be married May. Will be 10 years, but been together for 12 years. Yeah. So we are not marriage counselors. I'm just here to say what's working for us for the last 10 years. I have to tell you a little secret. First of all, how I met him. We were at a wedding, and he was in his kilt, and he was really hot. And so my BFF Jamie and I snuck into the dining room, because he wasn't giving me any attention. He says because he didn't have his glasses on. We snuck in and changed his table card, so he was sitting next to me. Girls, you got to make your own luck. So it worked.
Absolutely, it did work. Yeah, it was one of those moments where you go, "Oh, right, 21st century woman." You know, they're.
He didn't know
what they want.
He didn't know he wanted a 21st century woman, but that's what he got. So anyway, we are here to tell you, to talk about marriage, and we're going to tell you a little secret. Hopefully you don't tell a lot of people, but we actually have marriage coaches, and we didn't wait until we were like on the brink of divorce. We actually have a really good relationship. People will tell you that. But we were getting a little bit extra grumpy with each other, and we said, look, we definitely are in this together for a long time, and we know that you really do need tools. Like, you weren't born knowing how to live with somebody for 50 years and do it well. You weren't born knowing how to work or parent or anything like that. Anything you want to do well, you need to learn how to do well. You need to learn different tricks. So we do coaching just like we would if we were trying to learn a sport or cooking or anything like that. Yeah. And I will say that I think just the intention of going, right? I mean, we've only gone a couple times, but
not a lot, but we don't need, I mean, obviously I've been very reflective in how I look at how I act.
Yeah.
And how do I cope with that, and how I move forward with it and changing. And actually I'm feeling a lot more better to be honest and direct.
Yeah. So, I mean, just that intention of saying we both are in this, we both want to know, we both feel comfortable and safe, I think made a big difference. So I highly recommend that. Okay. I pulled out, I read a whole book last night, by the way, big fan of this. Is it going up backwards? So the 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, very famous book by John Gottman. He is basically considered the father of successful marriages. He says that he can say whether a marriage is going to be successful with 90% accuracy within 5 minutes of meeting a couple. No pressure. So, but I'm going to tell you guys what those are. So again, once you know them, you can't unknow them. And then you can work on it.
Lots of waves. We do a wave back.
Yes, you can wave back to all the people that
know
are on
this
Instagram. I know, it's all right. So, so one thing that they suggest, and this one is from the book by Tara Parker Pope for Better, is she says, celebrate good news. And she has 7. Does she have 7 or 6? I think she has. Oh, she has 7 too. See, there's 7 is the magic number for a happy marriage. Celebrate good news. It is way more about the good news than it is the bad news in a relationship. So it isn't about just like trying to get through the bad times. You really do have to celebrate the good moments more. What do you think of that?
Well, it keeps you always thinking positively about life. And like, why are we worried about the most minor things where there is a lot more problems out there in the world? And I find, I mean, I've got to look up and say, look what I've got. What have I got? Well, I've got a house, I've got a beautiful wife, I've got kids. Oh my goodness, how many people have not got that?
Aren't you lucky that we found each other being so optimistic?
Well, yeah. I mean, in some ways, you kind of have to say to yourself, you have to be. You're putting yourself down. Why are you putting yourself down? You're your own worst victim if you keep saying to yourself.
And if you're looking for the good things in your life, in your marriage, in your partner, your life is going to be stronger and better, and your relationships are going to be better. By the way, this isn't just for marriage. These are any relationships that you have, your siblings.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
it's on 2 different screens. It's like.
So anyway, I know it's not that easy to just be staring at yourself while you're talking and answering. But anyway, I talk about this on the Happy Huddle and in positive psychology. The more you're looking for the good things, the happier you're going to be. And so whether you need to mark them down, whether you keep a little book, she talks, no, not late. It's in this book, they talk about the bank account where you deposit and withdrawal. So you're always depositing when you are doing things for each other. And it's the little things. It's like, that I had a meeting at work and you call and see how it went. Or you send, actually one thing you do that I really love is he's a stay-at-home dad. So he's with the kids all the time. So one thing that he does is he'll send me little videos throughout the day of what's happening with him and the kids or something really cute. And I love that. And he knows I love that. He doesn't really care about sending me video. He does it because he knows that I really like it. So it is those little things. It's not the big, huge, like the wedding, of course, is awesome. And then it makes you happy for a little while.
In a castle.
Yes, we got married in a castle in Scotland, as you do.
As you do.
So 5 to 1 is the next tip. For every one negative fight or negative moment you have, you need 5 positive moments to sort of counteract that. So just saying sorry for something you did that was kind of crappy is not enough to sort of get you back to even in your relationship. Not tit for tat, but that the relationship.
So, sorry, a hug, a grovel, flowers.
Yes.
All right.
Dinner.
Oh, sorry.
That was only
dinner
3.
in a castle.
Yes, yes. So, but I mean, and so actually, did they come up? Oh no, well, I'll get to that one later. Not the castle, but all the things that you
well,
can
we
do.
changed our plans.
Yeah, for tomorrow night. So anyway, remember that 5 to 1 if something crappy happens. The third one is keep your standards high. So a lot of people sort of have mediocre expectations for their relationships, but we have a really high expectation. So when things were going a little off the rails, we said, nope, we have higher expectations of ourselves and our relationship and how we role model for our children. And again, it doesn't take a lot. It really is a bunch of little things. So do you think you have high standards for our relationship? Say yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just kidding.
I suppose there's expectations we'll bring into marriages and what we want.
Yeah.
And I try not to be, because we're in this kind of world in the Bay Area, keeping up with Joneses or being perfect. And I think those are very extreme words. Or everything is awesome. I mean, it's like we're using it too often, but then people feel that's a real big thing we've all got to be. And I kind of say, instead of being, I've got to be always excited or happy. No, I think it's good that we're always content, but always being looking forward to things.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's...
Like, it can just get better.
I mean, I was just talking to Declan today. He's going, I want to go back to the Pirate Hotel. So, well, okay, we'll get a discussion together. We'll get a family discussion to discuss what we're going to do in Europe. I want your input and what you want to do. So let's look forward to that. Let's be looking forward to having an expectation of how good we want our vacation in Europe. But everybody puts in the...
And working together.
Working together, yeah.
Cool. Okay, the next one, don't settle for a second-rate marriage or family, right? Like, just how we treat our children is different. Hashtag conscious parenting, and I do a lot of stuff on that. Number 4, stay close to family and friends. There's a lot of people who just think that their marriage is the only important relationship.
Oh, no, you need your friends.
You need your friends.
You do.
Is that good accent?
Yeah, pretty good, yeah. It's probably turned into an Indian accent. It always seems to do. Granjmooth.
Inside joke. Anyway, stay close to your family and friends. Get back on track.
All right, yeah. No, you want to have variety in social events, and me, my best friend Pierre, you keep asking me, what do you talk about? So we talk about everything or nothing, and I think I love that kind of. There's no expectation of what you should speak about, and we end up having a laugh, having a joke, and I think laughter is a huge thing there. And we kind of bounce off each other, and that's really great. And then coming back to our plans of our house and our future, I love that our focus on that and getting it right and what we want.
He's so cute. Anyway,
yes.
One of the longest studies, I don't know if you've heard me say this, but I've talked about it in other ones. One of the longest studies at Harvard is that you happier, the one predictor of whether you have a happy, full life until for longevity and having a fulfilled life at the end, is that you have good friends and good relationships. So it's super, super important that you have those good relationships. And again, this is not just about the marriage. It's about friendships. It's about relationships at work, relationships in your family. These are really, really important. And so the fact that one of the top 7 things to have a happy marriage is to have good family relationships and friendships. So don't lose sight of those. Number 5, don't expect your spouse to make you happy.
Yes or no? I think you shouldn't have so much expectation, as I said before. Because if you expect what you think, you come together and create your own expectations from each other.
Yes.
And I think it grows better that way.
Totally. And I think it's important. And again, it's so great that you're here because, as you know, we teach skills for positivity and happiness and how to have a happier life. So if you do that, if you follow this, then you're going to be a happier person, and then you're going to have a happier marriage. I see that the light is coming in on the screen for Zoom, so we're having like this nice halo glow.
Lots of hearts coming up inside. Does that mean
I know, yeah.
Well?
Yes.
Someone's got a crying or laughing. Crying? Oh, sacred Amish.
Yeah, this is Barry's first time on this, so yes, this is great. So anyway, so don't expect your spouse to make you happy. You can expect happier by the minute to make you happy. So subscribe and watch the videos on YouTube, and then you will be feeling happier. But your spouse is not the person who's supposed to do that for you. Your relationship can make you happier, but your spouse, I'm going to try to, we all of a sudden have this huge sunlight coming in, which is a little bit, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry, we needed to fix that. Because it's live and this is what happens. And I don't have it perfect yet. I don't have a studio yet.
There's this Facebook family.
Yes, no, it's
impressions of that.
Yes, it is not perfect all the time, and that's what I said is, our tips and tools are about how to have, what we know about a happier marriage for the last 12 years, and it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. We do argue, by the way. That is something you should do. Argue.
I told them that.
No, it's a good thing. That's what he says. Arguing is good because if you're not arguing, you're holding it in. And, we're not always
one of our first ever arguments we did was, you're the lucky one.
No, you're the lucky one. Okay, they don't want to know that. Cheesy. Okay. Number 6, have more sex. I'm just giving him these right now, by the way. He did not know all these before. So, sorry. we're having a little technical difficulty. But anyway, so have more sex.
Lean in, yes.
Any comment?
Well, yeah, yes. If I was saying no, there's something wrong with me. No, I think more. But, young kids do get in the way in every day. So, yeah, without a doubt, because that there is strange things that, like, a hug is very powerful.
Yes.
And touching, being with each other, you get closer rather than have to be talking.
And I think even you could just say have more intimacy too. It isn't even just about sex, but it's just about the time together alone and talking. And actually he talks about that in the 7 principles, that you really want to be connecting every day. And that's something our coaches told us, even if it's just half an hour, to just touch base and talk. Yeah. So, and number 7 is excitement. Couples don't need more pleasant activities. They need more exciting activities to hold on to the rush they felt when they were first in love, which is a challenge for us because our beginning of our relationship was very exciting. There was a lot of travel involved. It was a little bit like The Bachelor. Well, do you remember The Bachelor? How like they always have this amazing excitement, and you have to be careful because if you have something like that, you're not going to technically be. I don't know why.
It was like second date in London. Third date in Prague. Like,
I'm going to go fix the shades really quickly. Okay. You keep talking.
Yeah. So it was like, at the beginning, definitely it was a very worldwide dating.
But anyway.
Across Europe and stuff. So, yeah, I can understand we go from such a high to something real life or real down to the 9 to 5.
Yeah. So if you start out really high, we have to keep it really high. But so, and I think Barry really has stepped up again, little things. Like planning date nights. He planned a cooking class for us, which we'd never done. And it was different. Instead of just going out to dinner, going to the movies.
Yes.
And so...
Because sometimes movies, you're not really talking, are you?
No.
You're watching a movie. So sometimes that's not always the best.
Yes. So can you take out your phone? Because I forgot to watch the time.
Oh.
I do that. I always forget.
Oh, it's 9:17.
Okay. So we have 13 minutes. So I want to tell you a little bit more about this book that is so amazing, you guys. I literally just reread it last night. It's so easy to read.
You read the whole book? And I was sleeping, sorry.
Yes. But we're a team, so so yikes. Anyway, let me tell you what the book says, dear.
Yes, please do.
It is good to find a partner who is willing to learn through you and with you. So let's see. Successful conflict resolution isn't what makes marriage succeed. It is always about, it's also about the little things, which is so important. Just about checking in with each other and the little things and sending flowers just because you're proud of somebody.
Oh, haven't done that.
It's okay.
You got time. That was a hint, was it?
We got another 30 years. Don't worry.
30 years. I'm going to go for high expectation, 100.
50. Okay. All right. I better start working out. So the other thing that they talk about is the Four Horsemen. If you have not heard about the Four Horsemen, that is really important because he talks about the four, how does he call them? That they are the ways that marriages fall apart, are the Four Horsemen. And the first one is criticism. And so there is a world of difference between a complaint and a criticism. A complaint is that, that it's about, something that's happening in the house, or it's more of a behavior rather than a character flaw, right? It's not negative words about you or me, but it's about the situation. So it's not about that you didn't do something, and just not criticizing each other and the person that you are. And it's just talking about issues without criticism. I think that's pretty clear. So the second one, contempt. So thanks, Jocelyn. I thank for your compliment. We're so cute. I don't know if you can read that.
Oh, yeah.
So today, again, it's not always like this, my friends. And people always say, it's so cute. He's got that accent. And I say, no, it's not that sexy when he's yelling at me. But anyway, again, these are things that we use all the time. And that we're learning all the time. The second horseman is contempt. And we know people who have contempt in their marriage. And that is that sneering, that sarcasm, that literally name calling, eye rolling, sneering, mockery, hostile humor. We had a brother-in-law that was who's not in our family anymore.
Everybody thought he was a funny guy, but I have to say his jokes were
his humor
a bit rough.
His humor was hostile, right? And it was mocking, and it was poisonous because it showed a sense of disgust in the other person, and you never want to get there. So, do these things. It's so important because you don't want to get to contempt. As soon as you've got contempt, it's hopefully not too far, but as soon as you start feeling like you are rolling your eyes or you want to say something, especially in front of other people, never do some sort of negative humor at the expense of your mate in front of other people.
Oh, gosh, no.
And if you're doing that, have some self-awareness and let's get it fixed, because it's not the end of the world and it happens, but just notice it, okay? Notice it and get it fixed, because that's not a good sign.
Yeah. No,
horseman number 3 is defensiveness. So defensiveness is really a way of blaming your partner. So if you're starting to say, the problem isn't me, it's you and what you're doing, if you start feeling like you're blaming somebody, then you're not in the partnership again. So again, these are the things you want to just look for, these 4 horsemen, because if you start feeling them, sorry. And number 4 is stonewalling, which I didn't know what that meant either, dear. But it's when somebody tunes out. So just think of it as tune out. Like you're avoiding a fight is avoiding a marriage. And so if you've gotten to the point where you're tuning out,
completely. Yeah, I think
that's not good.
No, you're not answering the question. You're not stepping forward to go through the emotions of admitting if you've done something wrong, or talking through. You said, look, and I say honesty and straight to the point. So actually, I thought you were a bit rough to me there. Can we just talk about it for a wee bit? And you might not have realized what you did, and then you look back and reflect. That's always a good word, to reflect back from that, and then you go, oh, okay, and that kind of helps you understand the other partner. And oh, okay, if I could do better from last time.
Yeah, and again, it's just about being better. It's not about being perfect. No. It's not, it's progress, not perfection. And but it's also really good to know, one thing that we learned from our coaches, which was helpful, is knowing our different archetypes and knowing the different type of people that we are. And if you can say, and there's so many different kind of personality tests that you can do that say, you're a blue type, I'm a yellow type, I'm I can't remember, I'm a 7, you're a 9, right? 9. And so that, what I know is that I'm super overpowering, which we know without even doing a test. But he can then, look at that, but he can also know what drives me and the anxiety that drives me, and that why I sort of need a sense of control. And he can sort of step back from that and go, okay, that's her archetype. Now she knows how to label it. We can talk about it. And your archetype is one that kind of retreats a little bit.
Yeah, and so that's, I freely admit, sometimes I've been scared to admit to things, or if there's been a situation I would like to talk about. Now it's better to go in rather than say easier way is stepping away. And I need to move in. I've seen a difference in me moving in. Telling you.
But again, if you missed the beginning, we told a little secret that we have a marriage coach that coaches. It's a man and a woman team, which we think is really cool. But we didn't wait till we were on the verge of divorce to do this. We have a really good relationship, but something was a little bit crunchy, and we knew that we're committed to working on it. And honestly, that intention of just saying, you know what, we're in it till the end. We want to learn some new tools, because one of my favorite sayings by Einstein is, you cannot solve a problem with the same mind that got you into it, which means you need new tools, new ideas, new perceptions, new perspectives, so that you can go, oh God, I didn't think of it that way.
We're going back to saying coming in with expectations. It's so hard not to. Like something with us, with our kids, we both got 2 different concepts of how we would like to grow our kids, because the only thing we've got is our template is from our parents. What they told us, we think that's the natural way, or you do completely opposite to what your parents.
And when you're dating, like, you are not saying,
not
what's your
discussing.
parenting style? Here's my questionnaire, which I know some people do, and that's not a bad idea. But, you know, when we're in the throes of it and thinking, oh my God, he would be an awesome husband. I don't want to rule. I don't want to give any deal breakers yet. I'm not going to tell him that I'm all into conscious parenting. But luckily I, you know, knew enough to marry somebody that was flexible and say, I didn't even know what conscious parenting is. Okay, well, let me learn, and let me, you know, and it always, again, is not perfect.
Yeah, one of the first books you gave me is duct taping. What does that mean? Does that mean to shut up a Scotsman?
No, duct tape parenting. And actually it is about throwing duct tape over your mouth.
Not shutting you up, hang on.
Yeah. Well, just sometimes during the parenting.
All right.
But anyway, I think we're learning. I mean, the parenting, you know, everybody talks about, you don't get a manual. But there, you know, a lot of the manuals are about how to, or all the books are about parenting, or how to control your children, how to be in control, how to be the matriarch or patriarch, and forgetting that these are little human beings that came with their own agenda and super. Anyway, that's a whole nother episode that we can talk about. So I had a couple other things. Okay, like earmarks.
We do highlights. We've been talking about them. So cuties.
Oh, they're awesome. They're so cute. Okay, so the other thing in this book that I really like, again, love maps, knowing what your partner, I'm giving you so much information. Again, this will be on YouTube later, so you can go back. It's only half an hour, but there's so many tips in here that you can take away. You just need to find the ones that work for you guys. Try one, try two, watch this together. But one thing in this book that's really great is a love maps questionnaire, knowing about your partner and what they like and what they're going to want and how you can do the little things. And so asking yourself things like, did I do this? Knowing about them, the little things. So can you name my best friends? Can you tell what stresses, well, I'll just read them out so it's easier. I can tell you what stresses my partner is currently facing. I know the names of some of the people who have been irritating my partner lately. I'm pretty sure he does. I can tell you some of my partner's life dreams. Yes, tick. I am very familiar with my partner's religious beliefs and ideas. Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a lot of religious beliefs.
A pinnacle of an actual religion.
Yeah. I can tell you about my partner's basic philosophy of life. I can list the relatives my partner likes the least. We don't really have any, well, ex-relatives. I know my partner's favorite music. TED Talks.
Okay.
Anyway, this is a really great list to take out on a date night, though, and say, oh my gosh, do we know all these things? Are we, I can tell you the most successful thing that happened to my partner as a child. I know the 3 most special times in my partner's life. I mean, I think that, again, he may not know 20 out of 20, but it's a great thing to do on a...
But do tell you, if it's more women you have here, don't tell your husband if he's going to be scared if he gets anything wrong.
Yeah, right.
He might be, well, you might want to explore why he might have come up with an answer.
Yeah.
Because he might have, well, I actually thought, yeah, my image was when you did that a long time ago, I thought that's what you liked. Because you're not talking enough. You need to open up.
Yeah, again,
but don't put pressure on your husband to get everything right.
No, and again, a lot of this is we weren't given this when we were getting married, especially even if we did a little marriage counseling before over Skype with our minister in Scotland, actually. But the thing is, you know, even if he had given us this when we were getting married, all we were thinking about was the wedding and how great it was and that we finally found the one. And then, of course, we got into having children, so we weren't, you know, picking up this book. So, you know, 12 years later to pick up the book and say, wait a minute, do we really know these things? Just means the next 12 years. And what we're going to do in the next 12 years is going to make the next 12 years better. So this isn't about you have to know it all now. It's just having improved awareness so that you can keep building on it. Oh, I only have 1 more minute. there's a really fun game in here too called the Gottman Island Survival Game. So that's fun thing.
Survival.
Yeah, but you know, if you were stuck on an island.
Oh.
But anyway, there's a lot of really great things in this book that are fun, and it's such an easy read. And you know, the big takeaway is a sense of we-ness, like that we're a we between husband and wife.
Hey,
Charlie Edwardson. Hi. That's his nephew in Scotland.
Nephew in Scotland.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Charlie.
Charlie, now you can look back on this and know what it's going to take to have a happy marriage. And part of that is having a great relationship with our family and our relatives, which we do. Thanks, Charlie.
Yes, hello.
So anyway, time is up. It flies by the half an hour. So again, we get together every half an hour. If you'd like to see more of Barry, I get to see lots of him, but I love having him. I think we could definitely do more of these. There's so much to talk about with parenting, with marriage, with relationships, with friendships.
Finances and money. You can easily do that sometime.
Okay. I give.
She did mention the bank account, some kind of bank account, but she never looks at her own bank account. So that's a different ball game.
Barry's very good at managing finances, so we'll let him talk about finances for sure. Because we're going to do happier marriage by the minute.
It's boring.
Happier kids by the minute. It is important though. Richer by the minute, healthier by the minute. We're going to bring you all those things. So thank you for joining. Definitely go subscribe at YouTube. Join our Instagram page.